But Farouk, on that same point, even as you add on, there are some who also say that the Ministry for Sanitation and Water Resources, lovely name, practically nothing being done. That is what some say. Do we still need to retain that ministry to execute this? What other alternatives exist?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think the question should rather be, what is the best institutional, financial, and organizational arrangement to deliver climate resilient WASH? Now, when we elevate the conversation to that level, it becomes very meaningful for engagement. It doesn't really bother so much on which institution, whether it's a ministry or it's an authority, but I think it's more about the prioritization of that particular sector and keeping us together. In fact, our history has been, and it's good to go back into history. Previously, you know the story better than I do. The Ghana Water Company, Ghana Water and Sewage Corporation, you split it, PNDC Law 207 comes, local governance comes in, you push it to local government ministry, it shifts away, we have sanitation ministry, Western Housing at the other side, and all of that, we were having serious challenges around maintaining a proper monitoring and targeting system. Because once you continue to have the ministry, you can't even, when we do budget tracking as CSOs, we need to pick our bags and go to finance and go to works and housing and come to local government, and you don't find data. My take is that whichever form it takes, the sanitation, water, and hygiene must work together, they have to stay. And we are very, very unanimous on that, and we'll use the last energy in ourselves to protect this hard-gained fight that we've gone through. Just to wind up, I feel strongly the challenge is a water wash governance problem. Because you see, if you follow the whole conversation, it doesn't really think, it's political. It's about governance. It's about the soft things that the institutions and structures that ensure that all of these finances and monitoring and arrangements for delivery are well kept. I want to propose strongly, and that's my take, that WASH is something that is assessed within a local environment. It is assessed in a housing environment. And so the local government's ministry, from the outset, when I started, I felt that there was a need for very important resource like water, like sanitation, must be very close to the doorsteps of the people. And during the emergencies, of you who worked during the COVID, you would begin to appreciate why it should be in the local governance structures. Because clearly, when you move such projects to the center and you have a national sanitation authority, you would still have to provide the legs upon which they deliver. And so my personal one is that, look, irrespective of the name, we want to remain together. The water and sanitation must be prioritized. Every government that comes in must demonstrate how you're going to support this sector to work. Climate adaptation assessments has to be done to see what changes must we do. Look, we don't do redundancy planning here. We don't have redundancy infrastructure. And when they locked the streets of Accra, those who wanted to use the public toilets, when COVID came, in fact, in the slum communities, please remember, we're talking of about, in Accra, about 60 to 70% living in informal settlements and slums. And so when we speak about policies and programs and where it should be, again, local governance. Because why? All of these things around putting social infrastructure and getting people to do behavioral change and getting people to budget for water and sanitation must happen within the accountability structures. Yeah. The central governments don't provide those accountability structures. In fact, the Act 936 is very clear. Section 40 to 48 provides very clear participation guidelines. And for CSOs, our best place to demand accountability, it is when it is placed within the local governance structure. I think I would want to pause here and then to see what colleagues will say. Thank you.